Okay, now let me discuss the second important element of principles of management, that is so called as nature or characteristics of principles of management. And the first important characteristics is that principles of management are nothing but universal applicability. Universal applicability. Why? Because they are pure science only, and this kind of a principles which are going to be adopted of the management can be used anytime as well as the anywhere. They can be applicable to all types of organization, either it is a business organization or non-business organization, or whether it is a small size company or the large size company, or whether it is the private sector company or the public sector company, whether it is the manufacturing industry or service industry. To all types of organization it becomes applicable. That is what we mean as universal applicability. That is the first important characteristics of the principles of management. And second thing is that principles of management are nothing but the general guidelines. General guidelines in the sense, these are the guidelines which are going to be adopted by the managers for the smooth flow of operations, for the effective administration with respect to the business organization, so as to do the effective decision making with respect to the organization, and they can be used so as to find a solution to the business problems. That is why the second important characteristics is that they are nothing but the general guidelines. And third thing is that they are formed by practice and experimentation. Whatever the principles that you are going to study in the business study, those principles have been developed by none other than the management scholars, management thinkers. Why? Because they are having well-versed knowledge about the practice to be adopted by the management. They are having some sort of the skills, they are having some sort of the talents, and whatever the principles that you are going to study in this subject, actually those have been contributed by the management people, because they are having the super experience about the business organization. And whatever the principles that you are going to study, those have been implemented by deeper study. A kind of the in-depth analysis has been made by the management thinkers. Those have been adopted and used after doing some sort of the testing in the laboratory. That is why they are going to be used and practiced by each and every business organization. That is why these are going to be developed by the management thinkers. Why? Because they are the thoughts which are going to be expressed by the research scholars. They are shared their opinions, suggestion as well as the experience with respect to the business organization. That is why they are formed by practice. Practice in the sense, different methods which are going to be adopted, different tools and techniques which are going to be adopted and implemented by the business organization. Experimentation in the sense, they are the contributions of the management thinkers. They have conducted some sort of the laboratory testing, and they are having experience, well-versed experience with respect to the business organization, and they shared their opinion as well as the suggestions with respect to the business organization. That is why they are developed none other than the management thinkers only. And third thing is that they are flexible. Flexible in the sense, they are not so rigid, they are not so absolute. How they are? You are not going to simply use them How they are? It means that you can do some sort of the changes, you can do some sort of the modifications in the principles of management. In what situations that you are going to use and implement them, based on that you can do the changes in the principles so adopted by the management. It means that according to your requirements you can do some sort of the modifications with respect to the principles so adopted and used by the management. That is why they are so called as the flexible. Flexible in the sense they can be changed from time to time. They can be modified according to your requirements. Depends on your intention and the purpose. A separate as well as a distinct principles can be adopted and used. That is why to that extent they are flexible only. That is the fifth important characteristics. And sixth thing is that mainly behavioral. Mainly behavioral in the sense principles of management are going to influence human behavior. Human behavior in the sense employees of the business organization. In every company, the human resources are the most important resources of the organization, and you need to take their cooperation. You need to take coordination with the human resources. Then only your company can sustain for a longer period of time. Then only your company can attain the effective results. That is why by using and adopting this kind of a principles of management, you are going to influence the traits, character traits of the employees, and likely you are going to build harmonious relationship with the employees of the business organization. Why? Because your intention is to bring effective results of the business organization. That is why they are so called as the mainly behavioral. Mainly behavioral. And sixth thing is that cause and effect relationship. What is the meaning of cause? Cause means the reason, and effect means the outcome or the implication. It means that when this kind of a principles of management are going to be adopted and implemented by the business organization, after implementation, what you will do? You will cross check for what purpose the principles have been implemented. That is nothing but a reason, as well as after implementation what was the intention to be achieved and what actually been attained. That can be cross checked. That is why principles of management are going to establish the cause and effect relationship. And last thing is that they are contingent. Contingent in the sense they are depend on a situation at a particular point of time. It means that looking to the situation, you are going to decide what type of principles of management are going to be used and implemented in your business organization. You cannot blindly use the same principles at all the times, in all the circumstances, in all the situations. Looking to the situation, you are going to decide what should be the principle which is going to be implemented. That is why they are purely depend on situation at a particular point of time. And if there is any kind of the changes which have been taken place in the particular situation, looking to the changes, you are going to do some sort of the modifications in the principles which are going to be adopted and implemented by your management. That is why to that extent they are depends on a particular situation. Looking to the situation, you are going to decide what should be the type of principle which is going to be used. That is so called as the contingent. So these are the 7 important characteristics of the principles of the management. Let me revise once again. Universal applicability in the sense they become applicable to all types of organization. General guidelines means these are the guidelines which give the way for so as to find out the solutions to the business problem. That is nothing but a general guidelines formed by practice and the implementation, in the sense they have been adopted by the pure science, they have been adopted by the best scientific methods, they have been adopted by the study as well as the deeper analysis. And fourth thing is that flexible, in the sense they are not so rigid and not so static or the absolute. And fifth thing is that mainly behavior, in the sense they are going to influence the behavior and maintain the harmonious relationship. Cause and effect relationship, in the sense you are going to find out the reason for the implementation and what is the outcome after the implementation. Contingent means they are depend on a situation at a particular point of time. If there is a changes in the situation, you are going to use the separate principles of management only. Okay, this is the discussion on the nature or the characteristics of the principles of management. Please go through the slide. Thank you.